Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Annamorfidis here with Mending Hearts Counseling, and today's video is going to be a Q&A, and this question was also had come forth in one of my sessions, and it is, how can I create change? So a lot of the people that I work with, now that they have come to the phase where they are aware of what is taking place in their life that they do not like or feel good about or want to change, then comes the next stage following becoming aware of what is not serving you in this moment, is the preparation phase, which then will lead into the action phase. So when they ask them the question, how can I create change for myself? We're going from the awareness phase, where they are aware of the things that they are willing and wanting to change. I should say they are wanting to change first, because when you want to change something, once you are aware of it, three factors will play a really big, important role into that decision. Is there willingness to want to change? There has to be willingness to want to change. If there is resistance or there are excuses that come up that will prevent you from creating that change, even though you really want it, then the chances are that you won't be able to get there successfully. Then there has to be the capacity to change. Capacity meaning there has to be room in your life to do so. There has to be time in order for you to contribute to this new change that you want to implement in your daily life. So are you willing? Are you capable, like physically capable of doing this? Do you have enough time in the morning? Do you have, for example, if you want to incorporate meditation in your life, do you have enough time in the morning before you have to get your kids ready for school if you're a parent, or if you have to get yourself ready for work, or if you're a non-parent? Do you have the actual time? Do you have the time to go to the gym if it is a physical change that you want to achieve with yourself? What is it that you want to create, and do you actually have the capability to do the work that comes with the change? And if you are not capable of doing so, what can you shift and change or give up in your life that might create the room and time and allow you to have the energy to implement the new changes? And then the next thing is, or the third ingredient, I should say, is capability. So capability refers to the fact or the notion of having tools to, again, implement the changes that we want to see within our life. So for example, if you are wanting to incorporate meditation into your life, do you have the capability to download an app on your phone, whether it's an Android or an iPhone? Do you have the funds to pay for that app? For example, Deepak Chopra has an app. I think that it's free, but there is a subscription that comes with it to unlock all of the meditations. I believe this is the case. So do you have the capability of being able to gift some of these changes to yourself? So when you're aware of something that you want to change, then you need three key ingredients: willingness, capability, and then the capacity to do so. Once you have all those three ingredients, then you go from the preparation phase, where you are now preparing your plan on how to create that change, into action, where you actually act out the things that you have prepared for yourself, given that you are willing, you have the capacity, and you have the capability to do so. And once you're in the action phase, then that's probably the easiest part, because all you have to do is just maintain it. It's just do it every day until it becomes part of your everyday routine. And because a lot of things we do repeatedly, they just become part of like our automatic way of being. So until they become until they become an automatic way of being with you, these new changes, then it won't really feel like work anymore. And sometimes we might relapse, and then we just go back into the action phase. If you can refrain from holding yourself in guilt and shame because you had a relapse, or having thoughts like, how could you? You are worthless. See, you can't do anything. Anything you try, you always fail. Those thoughts are not serving. And if now that we know that a thought is a thought, and a thought can be changed, and we have the power to choose our thoughts, instead of choosing those thoughts when you relapse, it would be to your benefit to have thoughts such as like, it is okay that I had a relapse. I am a human person having a human experience, and my emotions sometimes take the best of me, and I was not able to implement these changes today, but that is okay. I forgive myself. It is not a big deal for me to have missed a day or have fallen off my wagon. Just recognizing and being gentle with yourself, and giving yourself the encouragement to get back up on the horse and keep going. And now that we also know that relapsing is a perfectly normal part of the 7 stages of change. I don't have my book here, but there is a book by Prashaka and De Clemente that have clearly defined the stages of how a person can start to create change once they are conscious of it, up until they need to just maintain it. And relapsing is very much a common step in the process of change. So remember, there needs to be willingness to change, no excuses, no victim mentality, no hiding behind, if I had more money, or if I had more time, or if my partner would agree with me, or if I lived in a different city, or if I had an elevator. No excuses, no matter what the excuse looks like. Take that out of the equation. I mention elevator because that has been brought to my attention as an excuse by someone I had worked with in the past about them not wanting to have a child, or that was an excuse for them to not have a child, where it turns out it went way deeper than just having an elevator. It turns out that this person just really was not, didn't have the capacity, and didn't feel like that they were capable in that moment to take care of another human being. So they would hide behind that excuse that they're living in a place, or their apartment building did not have an elevator. Therefore, how could their partner transport the child back and forth, as opposed to being super duper honest with themselves and looking deep within and seeing the true reason why they were using that as an excuse anyways. And once you actually come to that truth and conclusion, it's so much easier. And who's gonna say anything to you if you don't have the capacity and the capability to have a child? That needs to be respected. That is such a great realization to have. Like, having a baby is not a joke. Raising a human being is really, really big responsibility. And if you're recognizing that there's no capacity or capability within your life to do so in that particular period of time, that's a really beautiful thing, and that should be celebrated, as opposed to be made turn into feelings of shame and guilt about not wanting to partake in that. Even if your partner is ready and has the capacity and willingness and capability, that doesn't mean that you have to. Sorry, I went a bit on a sidetrack here, but I just always want to highlight that when we use an excuse to not do something, there is usually a larger reason behind that. And if you just dig in a little bit deeper, you might be able to come to the truth of that. And that is okay. It is okay to feel what you feel and not want to do anything different because it doesn't feel right in that moment. And going back to creating change and talking about the ingredients, the willingness to create change, and then the capability to create that change is. And just to remind you again, capability refers to having the tools and the knowledge to implement that change. So perhaps if it is deeper communication and connection that you are seeking to have with your partner and you want to change the way that you communicate, do you have the tools to help you get there? Do you have perhaps access to the internet so you can Google nonviolent communication so you can learn how to communicate effectively? Do you have access maybe to a library to see if you can rent out any books that will help to guide you towards the change that you want to create in a successful manner that is laid out for you step by step? There's a really good book called More Love, Less Conflict that really, really, really outlines and gives couples exercises to incorporate into their everyday lives that are quite short and super fun to do, and they really do help with the communication aspect of a relationship, which is very, very, very important. And last, to recap again, the third ingredient, the capacity. Do you have the physical time and energy to give to this change? And if not, what can you change in your life in order to be able to make room for that? And when you have those three ingredients in your bowl, it's a recipe for success. You're willing, you have the tools, you have created time, space, and reality for you to do so, and anything can be done in that moment. So whatever it is that you wish to create, I wish you great success, and thank you for watching. If you like the content, please do hit that like button. Do subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, I always welcome them, and I do enjoy all my interactions that I have with you. And thank you so much for all the encouragement and advice and words that are, coming towards me. I'm really, really, really grateful and really appreciative. And I wish you a blessed rest of your day, and I will see you next time.